The Iowa football offense with some positive recruiting news. That's always good to hear, especially when it involves skill position players, albeit for the 2024 class. We'll talk about the addition of Brevin Doll, an Iowa native, in just a second. Want to first thank Iowa Floor Covering each and every month. They have been with us for I don't know how many months now. They're awesome guys down in Bondurant. If you're undergoing a project or thinking about replacing your flooring, try IFC. Visit iowafloorcovering.com/DIY to look into this deal right here, folks. $269 per foot with self-installation. That's this tough core click together 4.5 millimeter waterproof vinyl flooring. And they've got so many flooring options. Just call them or visit their website at iowafloorcovering.com/DIY to see what's best for you and your home. We appreciate the guys down at Iowa Floor Covering in Bondurant. So the Hawkeyes get a much-needed addition to the 2024 class. Brevin Doll commits. He is the second running back to commit to this class in the last few days. We'll talk about Xavier Williams in the coming days. He committed to Iowa just a couple of days ago, but Brevin is a solid prospect. And here's the deal. Let's just address the elephant in the room. There are stereotypes out there about white running backs, all right? And Brevin Doll is a white running back, but boy, he's got speed. He's got a great center of gravity. I really like what I see from him on tape. And so did some high major schools. We're talking Kansas State offered, Oklahoma State offered, Iowa State offered. Obviously, Iowa, Minnesota was in on Brevin and offered as well. And according to 247 Sports, also had an offer from Purdue. Army, which is obviously a run-heavy offense, offered Brevin Doll. And Rivals reporting some interest from Ohio State. That always makes you perk up and kind of piques your interest when you see that program on a recruiting list. But I digress. Brevin Doll, a really good prospect. I mentioned his center of gravity. He's hard to bring down. You watch him on tape. He's got deceptive speed. He ran a 10.74 in his 100-meter time at state last year. That's a pretty darn good time. That's like Cooper DeJean level of speed there. And Cooper DeJean has got some wheels. So that's positive. And again, when you pair that with his ability, he's got good vision, his ability to be utilized in special teams. You see him on tape being used in the punt return game, in the kick return game. Iowa's had running backs that have not worked out. They've had plenty of guys leave. And frankly, running back is one of those positions. If you're not playing, you're likely to seek greener pastures somewhere else. So we don't know. We can't be dogmatic about what's going to happen with Doll. But again, I see a really solid complete back at this level. He's got another year in front of him. Remember that. He's got another year to develop at Adele DeSoto, and he's also been lined up as a wideout. He's got good hands. His route running is probably going to be a work in progress. I didn't see enough on tape to really make any definitive statement. And let me just preface all of this, as I always do in talking about recruiting news and commits. I'm watching highlight film, folks, so don't take this at 100% law. This is simply my takeaway from watching what film I could gather in reaction to this news that Brevin Doll had committed to Iowa. I know I'd gotten some pushback from some people close to Tegan Mullaney, the recent Iowa women's basketball recruit that committed to Iowa's 2024 class. And I wasn't trying to be critical. I was just giving my objective opinion, as I always do. And certainly my vision is limited without seeing full game footage, full game tape. This is just kind of a quick reaction style of recruiting video. But again, what I see from Brevin is a solid back with good size. That's the other part of this. He's listed at 6'1", 190 pounds. And at this level, boy, who knows what he can develop into, but he's got good speed with good size, good vision. We'll see, man. This is a good pickup, and as I mentioned, this is the second running back ad. I haven't talked about Xavier Williams yet. We'll be talking about him here in a couple of days, but Brevin, solid, and they've had a lot of success. Liddell Betts has had success. They have been dominating the state of Iowa, not just Liddell, but Jay Neiman and this entire recruiting staff. Tyler Barnes needs to be given due credit here. He's a part of this as well. Iowa has really secured the border for this 2024 class. In fact, they've got 6 of the top 8 prospects from the state of Iowa. 6 of the top 8, according to 247 Sports. The only 2 that they do not currently have are 2 guys who are currently undecided. One being Grant Bricks, the much coveted Logan, Iowa native, who's a future offensive lineman. He is an offensive lineman, probably a future tackle. He's listed at about 6'6", 280. He is a 4-star kid wanted by a lot of high major schools. And then Jacob Simpson, the Johnston tight end, is also still on the board. But Iowa has dominated Iowa State and other schools here in the state of Iowa. And that's good news for Iowa, not great news for Matt Campbell. But again, congratulations to Brevin Doll. I know he grew up a Hawkeye fan, and he's going to have an opportunity with a really solid group in front of him. Obviously, we've talked about the group of Caleb Johnson, who will be here for a couple more years at least. Certainly, I like Jazzy and Patterson and the group they have coming in. They've got a couple of good prospects this year, Terrell Washington being one. So Liddell Betts deserves credit. He's done really well recruiting, convincing kids to come here. And Brevin Doll, I wasn't, a huge Iowa guy when Liddell Betts was playing here. I don't even know how old I would have been. I'd have to do the math on that. But Liddell Betts, man, there's a little Liddell Betts and Brevin Doll. And I'm just looking at how Brevin plays. Just that kind of a complete back, but a guy who's really hard to bring down. Good news for Iowa football and company. So we'll continue to follow recruiting, folks. Stick it right here. Keep it locked in right here. Tell me what you think about the Brevin Doll commitment in the comment section below. Please hit that like button on the way out. Support our sponsors. I promise we'll talk to you soon.